Howdy there. Big Rob here, just a guy over 50, and boy oh boy am I fucking sick and tired of this shit. This guy, this Buttleberg or whatever his name is, I guess, he's thrown in his hat to run with a course of 24 Democrats or so, want to be president. Actually, they just want to run and get some free press time. Cory Booker, you blockheaded fool, and Kamala Harris, hey, Kamala, I don't know if anybody's told you yet, but you can't screw your way into the White House. As much as you try, you can't do it. Some of these other whiners, but this Buckstead guy, this this mayor from Iowa or wherever, is gay. Got a husband, boyfriend or something. Just goes on and on and on about being gay. I guess that's his platform, is I'm running for president because I'm gay. And anyway, I guess he cleaned up some town in Iowa, or helped him out, or Ohio, or wherever this guy's from. But anyway, I wanted to express my dismay about how this guy is attacking the Vice President Mike Pence over his Christian views with regards to homosexuality. And I've never heard Mike Pence say a negative thing about homosexuals, not a single time. I never heard Donald Trump say anything about a negative thing about homosexuals. And for this dishonest cocksucker to run on a platform of his homosexuality is just a form of intellectual dishonesty that, kind of, you got to sprinkle it with a little bit of malice too. Now, I don't have a problem with gay people. I don't. I know quite a few. I know quite a few gay women over the years. I've known quite a few and worked with quite a few gay men. But I don't remember any of them, rubbing their gayness in my face in a professional way or in a professional setting. But the idea that you're somehow more qualified to be president because you're gay, that dog don't hunt. That doesn't make any sense. That's like saying you're more qualified to be president because you're black or white or Mexican or Latino or Asian, or that you're more qualified because you have a vagina or a penis. Your lifestyle, such that you libtards like to preach, shouldn't have anything to do with your qualifications at work. And that's what we are talking about here. You're running for election to do a job, the job of being the top of the executive branch. Now, I know AOC thinks that there's like 8 different branches of government or whatever, but you're running for the job to be the top dog in the executive branch. And that job should be not so much a popularity contest, but how you feel about the issues and what you plan to do and how you plan to manage. And your sexual orientation, much like your religious orientation, should not be the first thing that people think about when they're going to the polls. The unfortunate circumstance is that most Americans are fucking stupid. And so they get on their hot button issues, and they get on these different kinds of ideas, this cognitive dissonance that's infected this country like a virus. And they go to the polls, and most of them don't even go to the polls. Most of them don't even vote. They get on Facebook and bellyache about all the things that they're not getting, all the persecution they're feeling, all the disadvantages that were arrayed against them by life, whine about their parents not giving them enough, not taking them to school, not paying for college or whatever. They got school loans. Guess what? If you got $80,000 in school debt and your degree is in gender studies, you're fucking retarded. You should have become an electrician or a mechanic or a pipe fitter or something that was productive. You should have gotten a license or a certification to do something, but you didn't. You decided to take classes, thereby enhancing or increasing your chances of commingling with women so that you could possibly increase your odds of getting laid. Well, guess what, buddy? Your little alpha male, hip hugger, jean wearing ass had 0 chance of getting laid in college, despite the fact that you're in women's studies and women's sociology and whatever else is in those colleges. So, getting back to Mike Pence. This guy Butterberg is attacking Mike Pence because of his Christian views on homosexuality. But you know what he's not doing? He's not attacking Ilhan Omar, who is a Muslim, who endorses Sharia law. She's not attacking her and her beliefs. If she endorses Sharia law, do you know what they do with homosexuals in those countries? They throw them off of buildings. And if they survive the fall, they grab them up, they run them back up to the roof and throw them off again. And if they survive that time, they publicly disconnect the head from their body. Or they stone them. Or they beat them. Or they set them on fire while they're still alive. That's what they do to homosexuals in Saudi Arabia, in Iraq, in Iran, in Qatar. That's what they do to homosexuals there. Indonesia. These places that are predominantly Islamo-fascist regimes. Yeah, that's what they do to homosexuals. You know what else they do to their women? Let's say your wife is walking down the street and she gets gang raped by a bunch of thugs. She reports it to the police and makes a case. Her husband is honor bound to stone her to death for having the temerity to bring rape upon herself and shame upon her family. Don't take my word for it. Look that shit up. It happens. To this day. This ancient, barbaric practice of punishing your women for being raped is what the Sharia law people believe in. And they practice that shit in Europe, in Paris, in England, and in other countries in Europe. I'd be willing to bet you it happens in Ireland and in Scotland, where they are planting these jokers like crazy. So what are you going to do about it? Bridle butt? You going to come out against Sharia law? Are you going to say something about the Muslims who believe it's okay to sexually mutilate women, small girls? Or are you going to stand up and have some balls and say to people, look, Christianity has its faults. I'm not saying that it doesn't. But to bag on this guy because he's in the opposite party for your supposed views, you're just... I've never heard Mike Pence get on TV and say, gays are bad. I've never heard him do that. I've heard of the guy for years. Never heard him do that. Do you know who I have heard say nasty things? Ilhan Omar. Your party, buddy. AOC. AOC, on a daily basis, gets on the internet or in front of some camera and says some retarded shit. Oh, we have 8 branches of government. Oh, we're going to stop sending money to Israel. Bernie Sanders is great. Green New Deal. Ignorant retard. Doesn't she have a bachelor's degree from Boston? Economics? This is the only broad I know. So we got to get rid of fossil fuels. Show up to some kind of meeting or something, or a seminar, some place where she's going to blab on in a giant bulletproof SUV, carrying a cup, drinking her coffee made out of styrofoam or cardboard. Hey, AOC, where the fuck you think that cardboard came from? Huh? You hypocrite? Much? And while we're on the subject of AOC, when was the last time you visited your district? I hear your train stations have graffiti all over them. Your community centers are shutting down. If you're really from New York, what balls on you to belittle the 9/11 experience? Both the people who died and the people who survived that shit. Talking down about them. Belittling it. Minimizing it. Poo-pooing it. How old were you when that happened? 8? 6? You weren't even old enough to know what the fuck was going on. Were you? Go back to your district. Do something for your district. Do something for the people that elected you. Stop going to Kentucky and visiting coal mines. They don't want you there. Nobody in the South gives a shit about you. You're a blabbermouth, an actor, poser. You're yesterday's news. You're going to be gone. Your constituents know you're worthless. Worthless. You live in your expensive apartment in Maryland, driving your SUVs, getting dragged around Won't be long before you're flying around in private planes with Bernie. That ragbag. That disheveled, buffoonish, communist cocksucker. Ilhan Omar. Crazy guy in New Zealand. Went nuts, shot up a bunch of people. Something just happened over in New Zealand. Shot up almost 50 people. Killed them. And to what end? Because you say he's a white supremacist or he has some sort of white supremacist manifesto. I never read it. I'm not interested in what those people have to say. Hate is hate as far as I'm concerned. But you had the nerve to blame that shit on Trump. Well, guess what? Some asshole in your district threw a 5-year-old boy off the 3rd floor balcony in the Mall of America. I got a picture of it. Him with a tube in his throat. His mom sitting there. He's on a ventilator. Closed head injury probably. Sick as fuck. That guy was a member of your district. It's your fault. You're a hater. Rescued from a refugee camp. Brought to America, your family. And how do you repay us? You marry your brother. You run for Congress. You get elected. Badmouth the president. You're yesterday's news. You're done. You'll get nothing done. You'll get in front of cameras. You'll grin like a fucking idiot. Because that's what condescending people do. They grin at you when they're talking to you. Wave their fingers around. I've seen video of you waving your finger and doing this and doing that. I recognize that body language. Hitler used to do that. Mussolini. Tons of video of Mussolini doing all this when he's talking to the Italians. Fascist fucks. That's what you are. Fascist. Ignorant. Yesterday's news. This country's going to get over you and your bullshit. We're already over you and your bullshit. We're done. We're done. Keep it up. You'll be impeached, thrown out of Congress. I'd really love it if the president deports you and your whole damn family back to that shithole you came from. That's right, I said shithole. Adios, Ilhan Omar. Hey, I'm just a regular guy. I'm nobody. Punch a clock, go to a job, pay some taxes. That's it. But I watch what's going on. I know what you people are about. I've been to your countries. I know exactly what you're about. You hate America. You think you can make America into a third world shithole like the one you came from that endorses and believes in Sharia law so that you can mutilate little girls, throw gays off of buildings, execute women for being raped. That's what you think you can do. Well, you're wrong. You think you can disrupt the fabric of America, this country that we live in, the greatest country in the world. You think you can break us down, tell us how stupid we are. We must be ignorant, white racists, if we don't go along with it. Won't be long. You'll be out of office. Yesterday's news. Nobody cares about your bullshit. Tell you what, your constituents keep throwing kids off of balconies. I promise you there will be a reckoning. They will not put up with that very long. Not in this country. It's Big Rob. Signing off. Just a guy over 50. I feel better now. Have a good day.